right, today I'm going to be showing you guys a quick Zone 1 deactivated self-activation sequence. Now, this work was created by Douglas Heel. Now, when we start, it's important to first understand that we need a baseline. Okay, we need some form of subjective or objective measure of where we're at to begin with. Okay, so if all we know is where we want to be, and we don't acknowledge where we are to start, how do we begin taking the steps getting to where we want to be? Okay, so with our assessment, this should be something that you are already familiar with. Okay, it can be subjective or objective, ideally a combination of two. Okay, and so this can be a movement we are currently performing frequently. This could be a movement we're currently struggling with. Maybe it causes us pain, discomfort. Maybe we just simply can't get in that position. So first we start with, what do we have access to begin with? Okay, and this is a very helpful thing because a lot of times I see in myself and with people I work with, we discredit what we're capable with to begin with. Okay, and so we want to have a good understanding where we're at. A simple thing that I do, and so this is my assessment, is we can do a toe touch, and we do not have to touch our toes, but we have subjective information here in terms of how it feels as we bend down. Then we have objective information in terms of, in relation to the ground, how close do I get to it? Okay, simple enough. We're going to add in another one, something we all do on a daily basis, is a squat. Okay, so you can sit down in a chair, you can stand up, we can just perform an air squat. Okay, acknowledge how that feels at the start. And this can be any movement. Okay, how we start is we're going to find our last rib. We're going to hold our fingers. We want to always try to work with a tip and stack joints. Okay, so whether it's a thumb, whether we're across with our fingertip, you will have to find what works best for you. Okay, for me, I'm just going to follow my last rib, and we're staying on the last rib. We're not going under it, we're not on top of it, we're right on the edge. Going to follow my ribs up, tracking the shape, noting if there's any sticky spots, sore spots, any tissue pulling my rib cage in any direction. Then I'm going to jump up to my sternum, go right up the middle, and then just under the medial collarbone. So right in close here, just below your hole for our throat. Okay, we don't want to go in there, we want to stay on this bony landmark, or just below it. Okay, from there, we're going to find our North Pole. We call this our Teletubby point. And we're also going to place a finger about an inch below our belly button. This gives us a reference point for how we breathe and where we initiate the breath with. We want to initiate every breath with our diaphragm. This is starting moving from center, okay? And so the most essential movement we have, and that's why we start with it, is to breathe or else we die, okay? So I'm going to show you what some of these breaths should look like. Okay, and then we simply reassess. Okay, you know, you can say it out loud, you can say it to yourself. Different, yes or no, and in what ways did it feel different? So each layer we will check back in and see to what degree is this being effective for us and what activations have the biggest shift in our system. Okay. Next in the sequence is our psoas. Here we're at the midpoint between our belly button and our bony hip bone. And we're just going to drop into that sort of layer of tissue it allows us to. We don't want to do too much force, but we want to get to some of those deeper muscular structures. Okay, just like that. Reassess. Okay. Now, we go to glutes. Our glutes are actually going to be back here at our occiput. And we're just going to work below the ridge of our skull, making sure this tissue has room, and we have room up in these upper cervical vertebrae. From there, we'll place a finger behind the earlobe, working up behind the jaw. And we want forward pressure here as we find our glutes, as we do our belly breaths. Okay, and when we find our glutes, we call this the ninja butt squeeze. And so we are going to find our zone 1, utilize our zone 1 in a way that isn't, okay, we're just going to connect to our glutes. And so I'm supported in my glutes, I'm breathing with my diaphragm, and I'm taking my eyes around the room because I'm in this room, okay? Toe touch, squat. And that is our zone 1 activation.